Good afternoon. Today is April 28th, 2026, and this is the City of Prescott City Council voting meeting. Roll call, please.
Mayor Rusing.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Fruitworth.
Here.
Councilwoman Frederickson.
Here.
Councilman Gambogi.
I am here.
Councilman Gehring.
Here.
Councilman Grady.
Here.
And Councilman Ruby.
Here.
All are present. Next up is our introductions and announcements.
Fabulous. Good afternoon, everyone. I've got several announcements and events and community updates happening. The City of Prescott invites residents to attend a community open house for the Miller Valley Road, Grove Avenue Sidewalk Improvements Project. The meeting will be held on this Wednesday, April 29th from 5 to 6:30 at the Crossroads Center at Prescott College, which is 220 Grove Avenue. This is a drop-in meeting and will provide an opportunity for folks to learn about the planned accessibility and sidewalk improvements, ask questions, provide your input ahead of construction, and that construction is scheduled to begin this summer of 26. Next, also tomorrow, Wednesday the 29th, between 8 and 12, the Prescott Regional Communications Center will conduct a test of the Prescott Regional Emergency Notification System through Smart 911. This test helps ensure that residents receive timely alerts during actual emergencies. So no action is required tomorrow, but Prescott's residents who do not receive a notification are encouraged, therefore, to sign up and register via smart911.com. Highland Center plant sale is happening from April 30th through May 2nd. Residents are invited to attend the Highland Center for Natural History plant sale to explore all the drought-tolerant native plants and learn about creating a water-smart landscape. City of Prescott Water Resources staff will be on hand to provide water conservation information and other resources. This Saturday, starting at 7:30, myself and City Clerk Sarah Thornhill are going to be working the Prescott Farmers Market. So if you have any questions or anything else you'd like to chat, come on by and say hello. Also on Saturday, May 2nd, the city, in partnership with the Arizona Attorney General's Office, Yavapai College, and AARP, are hosting a free shred-a-thon happening from 10 to 2 at the Yavapai College Prescott campus. This event provides residents and local businesses with a safe way to dispose of sensitive documents. Participants are asked to remain in their vehicles, drive up with a limit of 5 boxes per vehicle, ideally in your trunk, and people will be there to help you and get them shredded. Ion Water on Wednesday, May 6th at 1 o'clock. City staff is going to host a water meter replacement program and Ion Water workshop at the Prescott Public Library. This is a free session. It's to help residents better understand their water use and detect those costly potential leaks you are unaware of. Next week, May 3rd through May 9th, is Municipal Clerks Week, a time for all of us to recognize the important role that the City Clerk's Office plays in supporting transparent and effective local government. So come on by the farmers market on Saturday, and you can personally congratulate Sarah on all the great work she provides at a very cost-effective, I will add, basis. Prescott Freedom Festival and Logo Contest. So looking ahead, I know we've been celebrating 250, and we're going to continue to keep doing it throughout the year. But on July 4th at Pioneer Park, beginning at 3 p.m., we are going to host a Prescott Freedom Festival. And this is to celebrate our birthday on July 4th. Admission is going to be free. Everybody is welcome at Pioneer Park. But to get ready for that, we are hosting a logo design contest to commemorate, have an event t-shirt. So community members that are artistically inclined are welcome to submit their original designs for the t-shirt, and you can submit it to parks.programming.staff@prescottaz.gov, and you've got until May 15th to get that in. So we thank you all for getting engaged and taking part, and we will see you out and about. Thank you.
Thank you, Lois. We have a lot going on, and I hear there's going to be a mechanical bull at the Freedom Festival for the 4th. So,
And I
guys,
can't
get
wait
ready.
to see you on it, Mayor.
Yeehaw! Okay, next.
Next, we have our invocation from Rabbi Susan Shannerman with Temple Birth Shalom.
Please stand.
Mayor Rusing and council members, thank you for allowing me to offer this prayer as a representative of Temple B'rith Shalom, the largest synagogue in the Quad Cities. We have 110 family units. We welcome you to a Friday night Shabbat service anytime at 5:30 p.m. We are located across from Watson Lake. Spirit of life and love, divine spirit which resides in all. We do not always understand each other. We do not always speak or listen carefully. We often find it difficult to look beyond ourselves to our common purpose, and we cause suffering to each other and ourselves. In this time together, let us be reminded that we seek to understand each other. We seek to speak to each other in truth with compassion. We seek to listen to each other in love with caring. We seek the common good and a life lived in accord with our highest aspirations. We call upon the living Spirit in each of us to make it so, and let us say, Amen.
Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll now go through our proclamations. The first one is for General U.S. Grant Camp Number 3, America 250, and Mayor Pro Tem Fruworth will present that.
Doesn't he look handsome? Okay, this is a proclamation for celebrating the 250th anniversary of America's founding. Whereas General U.S. Grant Camp Number 3, chartered in 2015, part of the Department of the Southwest, Sons of Union Veterans of the Civil War, organized in 1881 and chartered by Congress in 1954, is the legal heir and successor to the Grand Army of the Republic, and is celebrating the 250th anniversary of the founding of America. And whereas General U.S. Grant Camp is recognized as an integral part of our community by engaging in meaningful activities, which includes preserving the memory and history of the GAR, promoting patriotic education, marking Civil War veterans' graves, preserving Civil War monuments, teaching history, fostering loyalty to our union, supporting American principles of equal rights and justice for all, and keeping alive the memory of Civil War soldiers and sailors who fought to save the Union. And And whereas General U.S. Grant Camp is devoted to recognizing and honoring all veterans who serve our nation, especially those of the Civil War, by cooperating with other groups to foster a sense of community in recognizing the sacrifices of veterans and active duty service members who have and continue to serve our nation. A core goal of General U.S. Grant Camp is that of patriotic education, which includes conducting presentations for schools and communities, supporting the proper teaching of American history in our schools, recognizing youth achievement throughout awards for ROTC, JROTC, cadets, and Eagle Scouts. Now, therefore, Kathy Rusing, Mayor of the City of Prescott, does hereby recognize General U.S. Grant Camp in its celebration of the 250th anniversary of the founding of the United States of America. We encourage all citizens to recognize and honor the enduring memory of our patriotic ancestors and the principles expressed in the Declaration of Independence. There you go. Thank you very much. I'll give you a mic.
Briefly, I'm Rick Stevens, commander of General U.S. Grant Camp. Memorial Day was born out of the Civil War and a desire to honor our dead. It was officially proclaimed on May 5th, 1868 by General John Logan, National Commander of the Grand Army of the Republic, in his General Order 11, and was first observed on May 30th, 1868, when flowers were placed on the graves of Union and Confederate soldiers at Arlington Cemetery. Grant Camp will read the Gettysburg Address at Citizen Cemetery and Prescott National Cemetery on Memorial Day. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
And now Councilman Grady will present the proclamation for Economic Development Week, May 4th through 8th.
Right over here. As many of you know, economic development is really a high priority for our community, and it's a council priority as well for 2026 and beyond. So it's important that we honor those that are involved in economic development in our community. And I have Trish Lewis here from our Economic Development Office. So I'm now honored to read the mayor's proclamation for that week. Whereas the city of Prescott continues to build a strong and resilient local economy through deliberate investment, partnerships, and a focus on long-term opportunity. And whereas Prescott's economic development efforts support the success of existing business while also attracting new investment in targeted industries, including aviation and aerospace, advanced manufacturing, technology, and healthcare. And whereas recent progress reflects that momentum, including a new retail center approved in the Deepwell area, downtown hotel developments, and strong demand for industrial opportunities around the Prescott Regional Airport. And whereas Prescott Regional Airport, ranked among the 20 busiest airports in the nation, serves as a key economic driver and catalyst for job creation, industry growth, and regional connectivity. And whereas economic progress is realized through strong collaboration with community partners, including but not limited to the Prescott Chamber of Commerce, the Downtown Partnership, the Prescott Tourism Advisory Committee, Yavapai College, and Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University. And whereas economic development in Prescott contributes to a diverse, sustainable tax base, enhances quality of life for residents, and supports the city's commitment to preserving its character while planning for future economic growth. And whereas since 1926, the International Economic Development Council and its preceding organizations have advanced the profession globally and supported communities in building strong local economies for over 100 years. Now, therefore, Kathy Rusing, Mayor of the City of Prescott, does hereby proclaim May 4th to 8th, 2026 as Economic Development Week, recognizing the tangible progress achieved in Prescott, celebrating the partnership that makes this progress possible, and reaffirming the city's commitment to a strong, diverse, and sustainable economy. Thank you, Trish, for being an important part of our economic development team and contributed to that growth and development.
Thank you.
Would you like to say a few words?
Thank you. Thank you, Councilman. Good afternoon. I am Tricia Lewis. I am the City Economic Development Manager, and it's an honor to be here today. And thank you again for the recognition. For next week, in recognition of the International Economic Development Council's 100-year anniversary and Economic Development Week, communities across the country are celebrating the impact of economic development. Here in Prescott, that story is simple. It's our business community. Our businesses are the backbone of this city. They create jobs, drive innovation, and help define the character of who we are. When they succeed, Prescott succeeds. Our role is to support them by improving communication, removing barriers, and helping create an environment where they can grow and thrive. This week is really about them, the entrepreneurs and small business owners who show up every day, take risks, and keep Prescott moving forward. We're focused on continuing to position Prescott as a competitive, healthy destination for economic development because this work truly touches every part of our city. I'm grateful to be a part of the community that's built on this effort. Thank you. Thank you.
Put that in the office, yes.
Thanks. Are we going to do a picture? Oh.
You have to be able. No, we will.
Yeah.
All right. Where do we have to stand?
Oh.
Got to get the logo in there.
Oh, yes, of course.
All right, and we will now move on to presentations. First up, we have the presentation to the 2025 Firefighter of the Year, Matt Gonzalez.
All right, Mayor and Council. Seems like we were just here yesterday, because we probably were. Okay. So it is one of the greatest privileges serving as your fire chief to stand before you and recognize the extraordinary individuals who comprise the Prescott Fire Department. I'm also pleased that many of them on duty currently joined us here to recognize one of their colleagues. Actually, they love being center of the attention, by the way. So when we look for a Firefighter of the Year, we aren't just looking for somebody who does their job well. We're looking for somebody who embodies the future of this organization, someone who demonstrates a commitment to professional excellence, proactive problem solving, and a deep-seated dedication to the culture of our department. Of particular importance is that this award, and it's actually very good timing, is peer nominated, meaning that the award winner must have a significant degree of credibility with the very peers that you see in front of you. Matt joined us in May of 2023, and in just 3 short years, he has set a standard for what it means to level up. In our profession, we often talk about the importance of continuous learning and professional development. Matt hasn't just talked about it, he's lived it. He already acquired his paramedic certification and is currently working towards becoming an acting engineer. And that's particularly significant because his motivation isn't just personal ambition. He stepped into the acting engineer track specifically to help our department navigate the organizational growth challenges that we are facing. That kind of selfless, mission-first mindset is exactly the type of leadership we strive to cultivate at every level of the Prescott Fire Department. Beyond his technical growth, Matt has taken a lead role in our breathing air program, and he did so as we prepare to transition to new equipment, which is a major safety advancement and capital project for the city. His work here doesn't just improve our operations, it directly impacts the safety and survival of every firefighter on the line. Furthermore, Matt understands that our responsibility extends beyond our own stations. He serves as an instructor for Firefighter 1 and 2 courses at Yavapai College, investing his time and knowledge into the next generation of first responders. And that commitment to mentorship is a cornerstone of a healthy and resilient department. But perhaps the most telling part of Matt's nomination, submitted by Captain Kennedy, who joins us here today, is the description of his character. We often say that one person can change the atmosphere of a room. Matt is that person. He exudes a positive attitude and a work ethic that is, in the captain's words, above board. In a high-stress profession, that kind of infectious positivity is a vital component of our collective well-being and our ability to serve the public with compassion. He's holding back a smile right now, as a matter of fact. The only problem about Matt Gonzalez is we haven't figured out a way to make him stop smiling. He is truly one of the most positive individuals I've ever been around.
I can help.
Matt, your drive, your dedication to your brothers and sisters in the department, and your love for the people of Prescott make you the ideal recipient of this honor. Mayor, Council, it's my distinct pleasure to introduce to you our Firefighter of the Year for 2025, Matthew Gonzalez. Thank you so much. Sure. Would you like to say anything?
Huh?
Would you like to say anything?
Sure.
Let's take a
sure. I'll say a few things. Just a few things. This award would not be possible if it wasn't for the guys that I work with. Not only do I have a good attitude, but these guys have a good attitude. They make it easy to work around, be around, and work around. So thanks to all my coworkers for this. Second, my family, who's always been there. Oh, there they are. My wife's always been there for me throughout this journey of becoming a firefighter, and she's been there every step behind me. So thank you to you. And yeah, that's it.
And the wife and the children, come on up, come on up. Come on up. We got to embarrass your husband. Sorry. Relish these moments.
Taller than you might have to take this. Sorry, someone taller than me has to take it.
We'll let them take a couple of photos, but Council, you're going to have a flyer coming around, which is for our next presentation, which is the Light the World Magic Giving Machine Report for 2025 event. So come on up.
Good afternoon, Mayor Rusing and council members. Thank you for recognizing the Light the World Giving Machine initiative. This is the third year in a row in December that the Light the World Giving Machines are available in the city of Prescott. And these giving machines are vending machines that have items from 5 local charities here in town that members of our community can purchase and donate to these charities so that these charities can turn around and help members of our community in need. My name is Kyle Carter, and my wife Jennifer are in charge of the Giving Machine Initiative, and we're very thankful that we can represent the Giving Machine Initiative here today. We'd like to show a short 2-minute video from highlights of this last December. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints sponsors the giving machines each year. And we're proud to announce that the members of the Prescott community donated over $60,000 worth of items. Thank you. And 100% of the donations that are given by members of the community go directly to the charities. And the charities will then be able to pass on those items in need to members of our community. We'd also like to give a special thanks to the National Bank of Arizona, located on the Courthouse Square, who allows us to use their patio surface for the giving machines. And we're happy to announce that we should be able to have the giving machines again here in Prescott this December at the National Bank of Arizona. For the sake of time, I'm going to announce all of the charities to come up together and be able to collect their checks from this year. Representing the Tennies for Tots, Paula Cedillo. Representing People Who Care, Kelly Welch. Representing the Humboldt Education Foundation, Zach Garfield. Representing the Hope Women's Center, Shannon Nam. Representing the Arizona Friends of Foster Children, Sophia Campbell. Come on up and we'll be able to take some quick photos with your checks. And congratulations.
And Zach can bring, Zach can bring, you can bring your whole crew up.
You want all of us up there?
Sure, yes.
Do we get in the middle?
Yeah, come here, we're gonna make room for you.
Come on in, everybody. Sorry. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much.
That works.
Thank you. When Shannon gets that number.
All right, and finally we'll have a council recognition recognizing Dennis Hauser Day, and Councilman Gambogi and Councilman Gehring will do this.
Do we have members of the community to recognize Dennis?
These are all my singers.
Are really? Can they hold the tune?
Definitely.
This is a very auspicious moment. You see, there are but 2 engineers on city council. And if anyone has spent time with engineers, you know, we're into problem solving, we're into facts. We don't tend to give as much credit to the arts. But here, 2 engineers, Jim Gehring and myself, would like to read this. Whereas Dennis Hauser founded and faithfully served as the artistic director of the Prescott Chorale since 2015, and whereas Dennis Hauser has mentored some of the city's finest singers and instrumentalist, and developed the Prescott Chorale into a superb and treasured choral organization. And whereas Dennis Hauser has enhanced the arts in the city of Prescott by developing creative and inspiring choral and instrumental programs involving hundreds of adult, youth, and children's singers, presenting classical and varied choral programs in churches, schools, and concert venues. And whereas the chorale members and the board of directors of the Prescott Chorale are celebrating the retirement of Dennis Hauser on March 31st, 2026. Now, therefore, we, Councilman Jim Gehring and Ted Gambogi, recognize May 31st, 2026 as Dennis Hauser Day.
Thank you. Well, he might want a copy.
You want to open this, and you can hold it like that.
Good. And we can, we got it.
Yeah. Well, a minute, let's get him in the middle.
Ted knows how to do it.
Move that way.
Oh, we got to go over here.
Shuffle.
You have spinach and
Shoot, isn't
not an image.
It's a video.
it? More.
Oh, he wants to do another one.
You bet.
Thank you. I have no video to show you. I have no placards to show you.
How about a song?
How about a song? How much time do you have? I want you to know that all these folks that were up here are either board members or singers. I started teaching before some of you were born in 1965 in Orange, California. I taught for a number of years, and I've done about 900 performances in my career. Folks and parents and grandparents, there are gifts you can give your children: wings, freedom, faith, and a place for their souls to sing and be free. There are no greater gifts except your family's love and security for those children. Please, let them sing so their souls can be free. Thank you.
Maybe we should just end the meeting on that note. I don't know. Okay, I will move us on to our open call to the public. The City of Prescott welcomes public engagement. Residents may comment and address the council regarding matters that are not included on the posted agenda during the call to public. If you wish to speak, please complete a green speaker card, and submit it to me prior to the meeting being convened. As a reminder, speakers are limited to 4 minutes, and the call to the public will be limited to 40 minutes in total with the following stipulations. Citizens will be limited to addressing the council on the same topic only 4 times in total. If a topic has been addressed more than 5 times by different speakers, the mayor may limit future discussion on the topic. Topics of a primarily national concern may be limited at the discretion of the mayor, and the call to the public shall not be used to address the council on current or pending legal matters by a party or their representative. I have 3 open call cards, and our first is from Donna Whitmore.
It's going to be a tough one to follow.
Good afternoon. I would like to share with you some of the myths and consequences of the Workforce Housing Strategy Plan and the Woda Cooper Workforce Housing Development Agreement. My background includes 30 years of working in the housing field with 2 decades in income-based subsidized sector, which has afforded me experience with low-income housing tax credit development contracts and the nonprofit developers. The Woda Cooper Workforce Housing Development Agreement is a classic example of what the Workforce Housing Plan will create. I bet you thought you were approving housing for working folks, like the police and firefighters and other essential workers. If you look deeper, though, only 18 units would be set aside for workforce housing, with 39 units would be for folks in the 7%, 8%, and 30% AMI. These are not working folks. This is an income-based, subsidized government housing in a pretty package. The workforce plan opens the city up to working with nonprofit developers that don't need to chase private monies because they have direct access to taxpayer dollars. Along with that comes the relaxing of restrictions like parking, density, zoning, and impact forgiveness fees. In some cities and counties, the local government has lost the power to deny subsidized housing. Woda Cooper is already asking for a $100,000 loan at below market interest, so it looks better on their application for the LIHTC state monies. But what about the long-term costs? This contract would have to be administered by the city for at least 30 years. Who's responsible for managing the contract? Who manages the wait list? Who selects and screens the applicants? Who handles the property management and the accompanying tenant problems? This could end up being a huge budget hit for the city while serving very few people and enriching the developers. Then there's the indirect human consequences. I have personally witnessed the generational dependency subsidized housing fosters in families. It kills any desire to achieve more for themselves or their children. If they get a job or a raise, then they would have to pay more rent. And if you're used to paying $50 a month rent, the inclination is not to do anything that would change that. The workforce plan states the average rent in Prescott is $1,548, and the average condo price is $317,000. I checked a current listing for a recruit or lateral police officer in Prescott, which has a range of $31.95 per hour to $47 per 93 cents per hour. That would be a gross income of $61,344 to $92,025 without overtime. It seems to me that they could live here without needing subsidized housing. So what can we do for working folks? Offer down payment or security deposit assistance, look to partnerships with employers, churches, school districts, and nonprofits, utilize programs like NACA, Neighborhood Assistance Corporation of America. They offer no down payment, no PMI, no closing costs or fees, and below market interest rate. This program is for working folks, and they offer budgeting and credit repair classes. Any subsidized housing program will fail if it doesn't include a work, school, or community service requirement. Term limits should also be in place except for elderly and the disabled. The recipients of subsidized housing should be expected to be participants in their own future. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Donna. James Riddle, and there's a handout that Mr. Riddle delivered that's coming out to you all as well.
Well, Mayor, Council, I'm here over a problem. Hate to bring the room down. I'm James Riddle, 694 Eastwood Drive, Prescott resident, over a decade. I get 4 minutes. I shaved it down to 2. I'll talk slower. Subject, Penn Eastwood Improvement Project. April 11th, 2026, I had a plumbing issue, and the plumber removed this gadget out of my sewer cleanup. It was broken. I just put together to illustrate. This is what Fan Contracting installed as a backflow sewer valve. This is not code. All the houses I inspected on Eastwood Drive had the same homemade device. Did FAN provide a statement of qualification for the Penn Eastwood project? If so, I think they voided that qualification. I insist FAN not be allowed to attempt repairs. If they weren't qualified to do the job, they're not qualified to fix it. FAN failed to correct this issue in over 2 years of construction. All inspectors failed to publicly note the discrepancy. Are we so compromised we allow FAN any breach? If so, allow or compel those city employees to resign. I request a public bid to install backflow sewer valves for the houses on Eastwood Drive and Penn Street as needed. This bid should exclude FAN, its subcontractors, employees, and FAN proxies. I request a moratorium and pause on all existing and future contracts involving FAN until FAN pays for these corrections. I ask the City Council to request the Arizona Auditor General for a complete audit into contract compliance and bidding practices of Prescott City. FAN in the city should be prohibited from asking these residents to hold, as it were, to sign a hold harmless form pertaining to this issue. This city must be willing to terminate any employee that gives preferential treatment to any business in their official capacity. Prescott City made FAN contracting extremely wealthy. Is this how they repay us? That's it.
Thank you. I'd like to direct our city manager to look into this matter. Thank you.
William Hall.
Get my glasses on. Good afternoon, and thank you very much for allowing me this opportunity to address you. I would like to take a few moments to share my thoughts regarding the proposed so-called Anti-Discrimination Declaration of Rights Amendment to the city's charter. There follows the usual laundry list of no-nos inferring that demonstration and hatred is running amok. Hence, we need to install an additional and redundant layer of bureaucracy that will protect us from ourselves. However, there's a preponderance of laws, statutes, proclamations, and specific agencies created solely to ensure equal treatment under the law and are already in place and function. Essentially, this is a backdoor to DEI. So let's examine the real discrimination and the imagined discrimination and why one is completely ignored and the other is magnified out of proportion. Who has repeatedly been physically harassed due to their choice of clothing? Who has been refused service in restaurants and stores due to their choice of hats or shirts? Who has had their personal property vandalized? A woman in her 70s working in Walmart, sorting clothes, was verbally assaulted, harassed, and threatened for several minutes by a customer. And why? Because the customer was angered at the choice of shirt the woman was wearing. A woman in her 80s who had been volunteering for the Audubon Society for close to 30 years was summarily dismissed due to the fact that she didn't use preferred pronouns. And why didn't she? Because she didn't have the faintest clue what preferred pronouns were. Are we seeing a pattern here? The actual real-life intolerance experienced each and every day emanates from one side. And the most recent example of this hatred and intolerance occurred just 3 days ago with the assassination attempt, the third, by the way, of President Trump. Now let us examine with real facts and actual documented evidence that anyone who has been refused service, denied access to public spaces, denied legal benefits, been discriminated against, or not treated with respect whatsoever. Absolutely not. Has any business displaying, promoting, or advocating a social issue been vandalized or harassed? A resounding no to all the above. The proposed declaration is a red herring, pure and simple. I want to make it absolutely clear that I believe with all my heart and my mind that all folks, all are entitled to be treated with dignity and respect. No ifs, ands, or buts. The proposed declaration is but sheep's clothing described as tribalism. We are a conglomerate society that is continuing to seek the right answer. The amazing part, that right answer continues to be elusive. We are a work in progress, and that is in and of itself perfection. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you, sir.
That's all, Mayor. We can now move on to the consent agenda. We did have three items that were pulled, item H, I, and J. And so, Mayor, unless there's something else, you can take a motion on the other items.
Okay, I move to approve consent agenda items 9A through G.
Second.
Please vote.
Passes 7-0.
Okay, let's start off with item H, adoption of resolution number 2026-192, dissolving the Workforce Housing Committee. Who pulled that one?
I pulled that one.
Okay, Jay, please start.
I would like to speak to it because first I want to recognize and honor the people who served on that committee and the work that they did over the past 2.5 years. Many of them have spoken to me, and they had actually wanted the committee to continue. And I think it's important that when we have people in our community who are volunteering and working for the city, that we find a space for them to make their contributions. I also think that the issues that they were addressing regarding workforce housing have not been resolved. I feel like what was passed was for a consulting team to begin to write a policy subject to review of the council. For me, and I'll use a sports metaphor, that is like getting invited to the tournament and then not competing and getting to the end. So I feel that it is unfortunate that we are absolving this committee because the issue of workforce housing isn't going away. The issue of affordable housing isn't going away. There are young people in this community struggling to be able to make down payments to live here, and it is critical that this community have young families move into it. So I wanted to point these things out because we're going to have to find a way to address this issue going forward.
Thank you, Jay. And I'd like to point out that the Workforce Housing Committee was in effect for 4 years. They did 4 years worth of work, and we really appreciate their efforts. Do I hear a motion?
Mayor, I move to adopt resolution number 2026-1982.
Second.
Passes 5-2.
Okay.
All right. Oop.
Whoops. Oops, I'm sorry.
Next item is approval of city contract number 2026-192 with HR Green for professional services for the general plan updates as recommended by the Council Subcommittee for General Plan Review.
And I'd like to point out that we have Mr. I'm sorry, what was your name again?
Ed Boyk.
Ed? Ed. We have Ed as a representative from HR Green. And would you, I pulled it, and did anyone else pull this? Because I'm on the chair of the general plan subcommittee, and I felt that we needed to discuss this item. Apparently, he was originally going to be out of town, but he rearranged his schedule so he could be here and answer questions. A little background: we had 3 applicants for the position of a consultant. And the committee unanimously agreed with HR Green. And I personally felt that they were the best applicants because they are engineers. And they were the only applicants that mentioned our Arizona revised statutes and following the general plan statutes in our state laws.
In answer to your question of a long time ago, I also pulled it, and I think that's if we're going to do an overview and answer questions, then that should be the job of staff.
Does Mr. Grady have any comments?
Yeah, I do. Thank you. Yes, thank you for being here today. Edward and the project director, Celeste Boccieri, we have spoken to them at our subcommittee meeting. And if you look at their experience across Arizona with the Chino Valley General Plan, the Buckeye General Plan, the Goodyear General Plan, Eloy, Wickenburg, Pine Top, Paradise Valley, Florence, Marana, Peoria, Glendale, Scottsdale, San Luis, Page.
Point of order, Madam Mayor. Could we hear from the subject matter experts?
Continue, Patrick.
Thank you. So I think the subcommittee felt in particular that this was an important step for us to take as a community. This general plan has failed twice in 2025, 2 different versions. So we felt that a consultant would be helpful in this area. And secondly, this subcommittee has made the decision, subject to city council approval, that we believe that we're required to meet the statutory requirements of general plan law by the state of Arizona because we have indeed surpassed the 50,000 population, and this group brought the best experience and best response to that particular area of need for the general plan. So there's a couple of reasons why I am supportive of where we are with this proposed.
Mary is also on the subcommittee. Would you like to make some comments?
Just to back up what has already been said, and also that the professional bench that HR Green was bringing forward was very impressive, as is the experience they have within Arizona, as Councilman Grady just listed off. As a very minor point, but just to avoid any confusion, I will note on the memo, it lists the optional task 3.2 as being at $3,000, and it's at $8,500, although the memo does have the total correct at $164,400. Also, the contract itself is correct.
Okay, thank you. Ed, would you like to come up and say a few words?
Thank you, Mayor, Council. My name is Ed Boyk. I'll be the project manager on this project. Celeste, as you know, was at the subcommittee meeting last week. She's unable to be here today. She does send her wishes to you. She regrets that she can't be here, but she really would be here. She loves to be at these things and participate with the community. So we're happy to be here, answer any questions you might have about how we can help you carry this general plan over the finish line, make it statutory compliant, ensure that it reflects the values and the essence of what is Prescott. We don't want to take that away. We just want to help you out and do a good job bringing it forward so you can get to that vote.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to let everyone know that the subcommittee has spent the last couple of months going over every page of the draft of the previous general plan, and we hope to build on that. And we feel a consultant is necessary to some of the things when you reviewed the draft was you felt it needed to be organized in a little more comprehensive way. What other things did you notice about it?
Sure, Mayor and Council. There's a number of things that we had a cursory look at with this, and we intend to have a more in-depth look at the subcommittee's notes so that we can be sure that we're properly capturing what needs to be updated. We want to make sure that all compliance with all of the relevant element requirements of Arizona revised statutes is included in there. Much of that is in place right now. It's just formatted in a way that makes it hard to discover. So the second part to that is we also would like to make sure that we have a clear document, something that's easy to follow through, organize, track through, something easy and clear to implement, track and then also track that implementation so that the plan is not only representative of your vision, goals, and strategies for the future, but a useful document that you can use to check the boxes as you move forward.
And one of the questions that we've had here is some people say that it's not a legal document, it's not legally binding. But my stance is that that's true in a way, but then there is the land use map, and then there's the major and minor amendment chart in it, which I believe is more legally binding. It's more than just a guideline. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, Mayor and Council, as per the statute, where it is more specific, such as the amendment process, yes, that would be something that would be more legally binding. But by and large, the policies that are in there, including the future land use map, are representative of best course of action. They are adopted by resolution, so it's not a regulatory document like a zoning code would be or a unified development code or anything like that. However, it's a clear roadmap and it expresses what you want the community to be in the future, and so it should be treated as such.
Well, as you can tell, there's going to be a lot of input, and that's what we do here in Prescott. And I'm really excited to move forward. So, does anyone have a comment? Okay, we can have Lois.
Thank you, Mayor. I was very excited to see that you had been selected, and I had nothing to do with it. Thank you, subcommittee. But the reason I was excited is because I actually cited not your company, but you as individuals, you and Celeste, with what I saw with Chino Valley and how jealous I was. It was how perfect it was to describe where Chino Valley is and where they need to go. So I'm so glad you are going to be helping us and working on this. And you were very succinct in that work, and I appreciate succinctness as well. My only concern, and it has nothing to do with you all, it has to do with I have not seen the data that our population has already been greater than 50,000 people. So this is new news to me, and I really would like to see wherever it is in staff, I would like to see that we are already, or I should say by the time we vote for this in 2027, we will be over 50,000. I'm not aware of that.
Currently, we're at 48,000. We just heard that from the statistics from the Park and Rec consultant. And this is a 10-year plan, so I imagine in 10 years we'll probably add 2,000 more people. But what are your comments about that?
Mayor and Council, Mayor Pro Tem. So many communities like to look ahead when they do the 10-year cycle for their general plan, especially if they're coming up to that 50,000 threshold, to add the additional elements and be prepared for the future. Arizona communities are always growing pretty quick, so it seems to come pretty fast. And it is a good practice to look at, but it's not a required practice because the population threshold by statute is based upon the most recent decimal census. In the past, there's been like mid-year census or mid-decimal censuses that have been conducted to during the periods of really high growth to see where the cities shake out. But in this case, it's very likely you will be at the 50,000 threshold. So, moving in that course seems reasonable.
Well, can I continue?
Yes.
The reason I was concerned with that is because I really wanted us to hit the July ballot with this initiative. And the reason is because that's when we're going to be having city council and mayoral elections in 2027. And I think it's really important that we get this thing over the finish line because this is largely a council that has had a lot of issues from the previous council passed over to it, and being brand new, I'm worried about not making the July and then having a new council in place having to carry this plan over the finish line. And so that's my biggest concern that I really want you all to think about. I'm prepared to say yes today, but I'm very worried about not hitting the July timetable with this general plan.
Okay, thank you for your concerns. And let's see who's next. Ted?
I got a couple questions. What's this going to cost hiring this consultant? It's not for the mayor, it's for the city staff, or you can tell us.
It's in your pre-reading. It's in your memo, Ted.
Thank you, Alex Bramlett. The total estimate at this point in time is $164,400.
And could you give me some idea of what, I heard it from Grady, but give me your top 3 cities that you've worked with.
Councilman, mayor, council, depends on what you mean by top 3. Top 3.
What do you find most rewarding? Which 3 were the most rewarding?
All of them. I can't pick one. It's like picking my children. But to be serious, I found a lot of satisfaction in working with the city of Buckeye.
And why was that?
Because they also were going through a similar process as Prescott. They were on the threshold of 50,000 and had to add additional elements. And I was a staff planner at that time for the city of Buckeye and was part of that exercise to bring it forward and help it grow with the additional elements to prepare it for the future. So that would be one. Mm-hmm.
So for those of you in the room and for those of you who are watching online, let me share what's really happening here. We're going to disregard 3 years of work from the boards and commission and all the residents that participated in developing this general plan. And we're going to hire a consultant for $164,000 based on his cursory review of the current proposed general plan. I think this is a gross misuse of city funds, and I will not vote for it.
Thank you, Ted. Mr. Ruby.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes.
There was a March 25 version of the general plan and a June 25 version of the general plan. Have you been given any specific guidance around how to use those 2 versions?
Thank you, Alex Bramlett. So the subcommittee at our first session, we talked about which plan to use, and the subcommittee decided to move forward with the June version. So we've been reviewing that document, knowing the March plan is still available if we have to add in different components, but we are focusing on the June plan at this time.
For myself, I think the March plan contained much more community input. It had a larger perspective on the different concerns within the broader community. I guess I would also say I see this as an exercise in redundancy right now. Mm-hmm. I voted to hire a consultant, but I was under the idea that it would go to the voters. And if it failed with the voters, that then it would go to a consultant. So for me, I have trouble supporting this because I still think the voters should be the ones to decide on the general plan before it goes to a consultant.
Understood.
Thank you, Jay. Do we have any more questions for Ed? Okay. All right. Thank you, Ed.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you for making the effort to be here today.
No problem. Thank you.
Do we have any public?
We do not.
Comments? Okay. Do I hear a motion?
Yes, Mayor, I move to approve city contract number 2026-19 time with HR Green for professional services for the general plan update as recommended by the council subcommittee for general plan review.
Second.
Passes 5-2.
Thank you. And our next item that I pulled, approval of city purchase number 2260613 for reimbursement to Keystone at Prescott LLC in the amount of $1,347.57 for an 18-inch ductile iron DIP CL 350 water line construction, city contract number 2023-003. Funding is available in the water fund. The reason why I pulled this is we're doing a major water and sewer project to get services out to Section 33. And Section 33 square mile, it's part of the AED annexation. It's in the development agreement. And the whole purpose of bringing water and sewer out to Section 33 was to move density from the heart of the Dells out to another section so that we could save the heart of the Dells and preserve that beautiful gem. In looking at this, I have a question. From the map, it looked like it was just 50 feet. Is it just 50 feet of sewer? Water
No,
main?
Mayor, it's 350 feet of water.
Okay.
It's a water main.
So it's a water main, because when I was looking at the map, it had like 20 feet and 50 feet on it.
So the map that the developer included in his documentation is quite busy because it shows all of the infrastructure that they constructed on their project, which is why I brought this map, because I thought it might help.
Okay, that's
So
better.
this is the map that staff presented in 2022 when we purchased the easement from Keystone.
Okay.
You can see there on the left, the north-south leg there. When Keystone came through the PAC process and ultimately through permitting, we already knew that this was our potential alignment to serve water and sewer to Section 33. So we asked the developer at that time if they would make space in their project in this north-south alignment for the water line that would be needed. They did give us an easement at that time, and they constructed the piece of the pipe that's in that easement, and that's what they're asking for reimbursement for today, is for the construction of the pipe. It's about 350 feet of 18-inch ductile iron pipe.
Okay, because I was looking at this map and it said 20 feet and 30 feet where the blue line is, and I was like, boy, that's pretty expensive. So
apologies, no,
Okay,
it's
all
about
right.
350 feet, yeah.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I appreciate the clarification. I move to approve purchase order number 2260613.
Second.
Please vote.
Passes 7-0. Our next item is adoption of ordinance number 2026-1942, an ordinance of the Mayor and Council of the City of Prescott, Yavapai County, Arizona, authorizing the granting of an underground utility easement to Arizona Public Service Company for new utility service on city property, authorizing the mayor and staff to execute any and all documents to effectuate said underground utility easement.
Okay, thank you. Little background on this project. This is the old racket club on Cortez. It's been boarded
Mayor,
up.
if I might, we're on the consent ordinance relating to the undergrounding of
okay.
APS lines.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got mixed up here.
And Brian Sparks isn't here. He asked me to cover to the extent you have any questions. But just briefly, this is an easement to APS to put the power lines at the old City Hall location underground, which is part of our purchase and sell agreement with the developer.
Any discussion? It's pretty straightforward. Any public comments?
No, Mayor.
Okay, do I hear a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I move to adopt the adoption of ordinance number 2026-1942.
Second.
Please vote.
Passes 7-0.
Thank you. Next item.
WSA 26-007, water service application submitted by Michael Taylor Architects, location 130 North Cortez Street, APN 11315-105A.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. I'm Brian Reese. I'm the Water Resources Manager here for the City of Prescott. Per amended water policy, 2022 water management policy, water service application was submitted for this project for review of estimated water usage and approval of the water service. So 130 North Cortez is the location of the project. Approximately halfway between Willis and Gurley Street. So this project consists of an existing 4-story building. The proposed, this building has been in existence for a long time, has many uses. The proposed uses for this project would be approximately 3,000 square feet on the first floor, and then 6 apartments on the second and third floor, and then a new residence on the 4th floor. A demand analysis was completed by city staff based on the residential and the non-residential water multipliers from the water resource management model. So based on those multipliers, the residential demand is estimated at 0.89 acre feet per year, and the retail demand is estimated at 0.02 acre feet per year, giving a total demand of 0.91 acre feet per year. The previous water usage for the building was looked at for the past 10 years, and there was no significant water usage in that time period, so we estimated the previous usage at 0. There is no proposed outdoor usage or landscape for this particular project based on its location. And let me see, with approval of this water service application, we would go ahead and take out the residential portion from the residential budget, water budget, and take out the commercial, the retail use from the non-residential water budget. This particular project actually, its water usage would have met the threshold that staff could have administratively approved this project, but given the historical use of the building, its location, mixed use usage, we decided we would go ahead and bring it to council. We want to make sure you're aware of the project. So with that, City Council approved the special use permit for this project on October 14th, 2025. And the Council Subcommittee on Water Issues reviewed this application on April 7th, 2026, and recommended forwarding the project to Council for approval. We have a representative from the applicant who is here today who could answer questions about the project. I'd be happy to try to answer any questions too, but that is what I have for you today.
I think the question that we are trying to clear up is whether it was going to be a vacation rental versus long-term apartments. So I think that's one of our questions. So if the applicant's here, thank you.
Good afternoon, Madam Mayor and council members. I might as well address that right away. I owe you an apology. I misspoke when I met with you folks a couple weeks ago. I misspoke is all I can say. These are apartments. They were applied for as apartments. They meet the city definition of what an apartment is. And so you have my apologies in that I misspoke about the type of rental use, but by definition and the way we're applying, they are apartments, yes.
Well, thank you for clearing that up. This is a wonderful infill project. It'll keep our downtown vibrant, bringing retail and more foot traffic downtown. And I really appreciate, thanks to the owners for taking this project on, because I don't think it's been an easy one.
It still isn't.
Okay, well, thank you for your hard work. Okay, any other comments?
Yeah.
Mr. Gambogi, do you have a comment?
No, I was ready to make a motion.
Okay, well, let's.
I did.
Jay?
Yeah, I had understood from the last that it was a short-term rental, so I'm quite relieved that it is an apartment, because having this type of live-in space in downtown Prescott is very helpful. And thank you for taking on a building that's been basically dormant for 2 decades.
Okay, do I hear a motion?
Yes. Now, Coach?
Yes.
I move to approve WSA 26-007.
Second.
Please vote. We still got more.
Passes 7-0.
Okay, congratulations. Next item, please.
Our next item is quarterly council liaison board and commission updates. I received one update from Councilman Gambogi regarding the Pedestrian, Bicycle, and Traffic Advisory Committee. They convened in January and February with a couple of different projects discussed. Primarily in January, concerns were related to changes in the area around Senator Highway. And the group discussed that. Ian Mattingly, our traffic manager, also discussed concerns on Park Avenue, and suggestions included radar speed signs, sidewalk improvements, pavement markings, but budgeting concerns were also addressed for those proposed projects. In February, the committee had discussions regarding upcoming updates on Mount Vernon, which include a new streetlight system and the Yavapai College area updates. And they regularly receive updates from Y-Plan, formerly SIMPO. They will not be meeting in the month of March. I did not receive any other board and commission updates from our liaisons, but I did want to kind of generally overview some of our upcoming board and commission meetings. As always, these are subject to change. But as of now, we will have a Charter Review Committee meeting on May 4th, Mayor's Veteran Commission meeting on May 6th, Prescott Preservation Commission on May 8th, Tourism Advisory Committee on May 13th, Airport Advisory Committee on May 19th, CDBG Citizen Advisory Committee meeting on May 20th, Board of Adjustment May 21st, Planning and Zoning May 28th, and Civic Enhancement Committee also May 28th. Those agendas, locations, times, everything is posted on the public portal where you can find the council meeting agendas as well. And I'll turn it over to you all in case there's any updates that I didn't get from you via email.
Anyone wish to update?
I can update the two committees that I've been a liaison to. The Community Development Block Grant, which is actually the Citizens Advocacy Committee. Did I hit that right? Yeah, okay. They primarily were working on the Community Development Block Grant, and then they also went on they've elected some new members, or some new people came onto the board, and they approved, I believe, around $265,000 worth of funding for different organizations in the city. And they had $750,000 of requests. So that was actually quite a lot of work to kind of whittle that down. So, applause for the work of that committee. The other committee that was there was the Civic Enhancement Committee. They only met once since January, and they had an issue about, there was a proposal for a peace poll, and there were 3 members there out of 5. It was voted down 2-1. I have a feeling that proposal will come back in a new form. And there's probably some questions.
What's a peace poll?
A peace poll. It's a pole with a peace sign on it.
Sounds very retro. Where was it going to go?
Project. It's actually a project from Robert Shagog, and he would like to have it to just kind of make a monument to peace in the city.
Yeah.
I've talked to them about it. I understand why it didn't get approved. There's probably some things to do around what are objective standards of art, but there's also probably some things that the applicant needs to do to upgrade the quality of their proposal.
Yeah. Plus, we have art in public places policy too. Were you aware of that? It needs to meet those criteria.
And the art in public places policy is overseen by Civic Enhancement?
No, City Council votes on it. We have a 60-day public input period.
But it has to go through Civic.
Okay, I'll address that. So the council adopted an art donation policy about a year and a half ago. The Civic Enhancement Committee is the first stop for an interested party to apply for donation of a piece of art. The committee makes a determination on whether or not they feel that that piece of art meets the criteria for the art donation policy. If they believe it does, they would make a recommendation to forward it to the council. The next step from there would be a study session where you all review the recommendation from the Civic Enhancement Committee, then a public comment period, then a vote. So the Civic Enhancement Committee is the first stop for the art donation policy.
And isn't the applicant responsible for all the costs of installation?
They are, yes.
I'm done.
So thank you. Okay, any other comments? Mr. Gehring.
So thank you, Mayor. I could talk briefly about the Airport Advisory Committee. And if you go back several months ago, probably 4 months ago, the tenants were gnashing their teeth over the new access rules, where you had to have your card to access the gate and you had to enter your 4-digit code to enter. And that's fine, but they're going, why in the heck do we have to do that to get out? So I think the compromise is to get out will be that they only have to use their card, but that's in flux at present. And then on the Mayor's Commission on Veterans Affairs, the main goals of the group seem to be to find and discover and register veterans who don't know that they're entitled to benefits, and also to register those veterans who don't need benefits, like me. I'm registered, and the reason I registered is because me being registered brings more money into our local facility to help other veterans. And then the other thing the group is doing is they set up meetings with large groups such as homeowners associations, Prescott Lakes would be a good example, to make available information about these programs, identify veterans, and get them on board for registration. So that's my report.
Thank you. Very good. Lois?
Yeah, I have two updates. The first was from the Tourism Advisory Committee. They've received, I believe it was 25 or 28. 25 seems to be the number in my head. Requests for TAC grants, which are grants we give out to community organizations who will promote and bring folks outside of the metro Prescott area into the marketplace, and they will be reviewing those as a committee and scoring them and coming up with a recommendation. And typically, then those grants move to us in about the July timetable before we go on break for approval, and those are under contract. So that's coming up, and they're off to a good start. The second one I want to bring you up to speed is the America 250 Prescott Area Commission. The next round of major stuff going on is the weekend of July 1st. I'm going to start on Wednesday, things for you all to know about because you may want to show up. The first cool thing is on Wednesday, July 1st at 4 p.m. We're going to have a ribbon cutting for the renewal of the courthouse bandstand. And the Friends of the Jersey Lilies were incredibly successful in raising money for the courthouse lighting this year, more than that was needed. And so they have partnered up with Yavapai County, and they are going to renew the bandstand. I don't know that every single element is going to be done, like lighting might be delayed, but the majority of the look and the feel of a renewed bandstand is going to be done in time to have a ribbon cutting. So mark your calendar there.
Are you talking about the gazebo?
The gazebo.
The gazebo,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Some people call it bandstand, whatever. It was originally a bandstand. And so that's very cool work going on that weekend. On the 3rd, Friday the 3rd, we are going to have a combination of at 11 o'clock, the Yavapai County is going to be putting in a time capsule onto the courthouse plaza. We have submitted Mayor Rusin's America 250 proclamation from the kickoff in February. The county is collecting items for that, and so that will go in on Friday afternoon. Charlotte Hall is going to do an old-fashioned historical Independence Day following that. And then, of course, on Saturday is all the various things going on between the Prescott Frontier Days Rodeo Parade, the Prescott Downtown Partnership Arts and Crafts Festival, and now our new City of Prescott Freedom Festival in the afternoon. So quite a packed weekend of activities, and I want to make sure I got those on your calendars so you can show up to as many as possible.
Thank you. Sounds like we've been pretty busy.
I just wanted to touch on real quickly, if I could, Mayor Pro Tem's comments on the TAC grants. So those will come to you all before the budget adoption. We usually do that at either the first or second meeting in June, depending on when TAC makes their determinations. You'll also see the ACRA grant applications and awards prior to the budget being adopted, because those are all for the upcoming fiscal year.
Mayor?
Yes, Mary.
Thank you. I just wanted to bring up something that came out in the Preservation Committee, a little of asking for forgiveness rather than permission. There was an element that came forward relative to Doc's Barbecue and Whiskey on the corner of Montezuma and Goodwin. They had installed a wall around their outdoor patio area that was a gabion wall. Didn't actually get distinct approval from the Preservation Committee before it was installed. And so it came forward in front of the Preservation Committee, and at the end of the day, although there was much expression of disappointment that the construction went forward without getting clear approval from the Preservation Committee, nonetheless, it was agreed that it was visually, aesthetically fine, and although the process wasn't followed, it was approved. And I think that's just something that staff and permitting and engineering, whoever it is that looks at these kind of things, would do well to keep an eye out for. That is construction going forward without necessarily in the historic district, without the blessing from the Preservation Committee.
Well, I'd like to comment. I am so happy that the white crumbling stucco planters full of dead plants are removed. And I don't think that was very historical when that was approved way back when. But going forward in 50 years, that will be considered historical.
Indeed, the committee as a whole all agreed that aesthetically it was an improvement. There was just disappointment that the process wasn't followed.
Okay, all righty, thank you. Any more comments? Okay, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.